Okay, hello deal makers. In this video, we are going to look at news and articles that are relevant to us deal makers. So here are some of the topics that we'll be covering in this video. First is how do you survive robot automation? Now, if you're working and you're concerned that AIs or robots will take over your job, well, how do you survive that? We'll take a look also at the demand for low-cost housing in the Philippines. Now, how many units uh, do we really need to keep up with the increasing population? And then we'll take a look at some new developments by Avida and Megaworld. Um, Iloilo has entered the top 100 BPO cities. Okay. And then finally, we'll talk about an article that helps you find the best investment for you. All right. So let's start with the first one, 3 ways to ensure your job survives robot automation. So this has been a big concern for those who are working in the outsourcing industry. A lot of programs, or there are a lot of programs that are at risk of being replaced by AI and robotic automation. So how do you ensure that you're going to survive the robot invasion? Well, first, you need to avoid jobs that robots are good at. So you need to improve your soft skills, skills like communication, leadership, and creative thinking. Areas that are not yet in the domain of AI or robotics. And then number two, you need to embrace automation. Automation is really coming. If there are things or if there are tasks in your job right now that are repetitive, recommend it for automation so that you can focus on the creative stuff, right? And number three, embrace networking. Build relationships with other people. These relationships can help you move up in your career. And rel relationships or networking, relationship building is definitely not yet in the domain of AI or robots. We're still far away from that, whatever the Avengers may tell you. So again, how do you survive the robot invasion? Yeah, avoid jobs that robots are good at, embrace automation, and embrace networking. Okay. Next, low-cost housing is expected to, or the backlog for low-cost housing is expected to grow to 12.3 million by the year 2030. So currently we're at the 6 million level, and that's expected to grow double that. What that means is we're the developers that we have right now, or the projects that we have right now, are not enough to cover the growing need for low-cost housing. What is low-cost housing? So these are the properties that are being sold below 3 million pesos. So below 3 million, that is low cost. So actually, even with low cost, there are three categories. So there's socialized, which is below 450,000. Then there is economic, which is 450,000 to 1.7 million. And then there's low cost, which is 1.7 million to 3 million. So there is huge demand or huge backlog. Every year, there is a backlog of 160,000 to 190,000 units. And the developers are simply not able to service that backlog. In fact, I know that if you count the license to sell from the HLURB, I think every year the HLURB is only able to release around licenses for around 20,000 units. So there is a big backlog in the low-cost housing segment. Now, in the mid-cost to high-cost, which means properties above 3 million, there's actually an oversupply. So there's around 500,000 units that are still for sale in the inventories of the developers. So if there's any, I guess in my opinion, if there's any opportunity for investors, for developers, if you want to get into flipping or build and sell, I do suggest that you get into low-cost housing or houses below 3 million because of the huge demand. Okay. Next up, Okay, some developments from Ayala and Megaworld. So Avida is coming up with Avida Verge, Avida Towers Verge in Mandaluyong. This is right beside Centera. If you're familiar with Centera, it's located in at the corner of EDSA and Reliance. Verge is just behind that. So that's corner of Mayflower Street and Reliance Avenue, and that I guess stretch of EDSA of Mandaluyong that connects Ortigas, Shaw, the Shaw Greenfield area that and extends all the way to Robinson Cybergate. That area has a lot of development. That has been a hot spot. There's a big demand for properties in that area because of its proximity to Ortigas, BGC, and Makati. So if you were able to, if you're lucky enough to buy properties in that area in the past, then you can enjoy. I'm sure you are enjoying the property appreciation that you're experiencing right now. And if you would like to buy, in these areas, and there are a lot. So it's not just Avida Towers Verge. There are a number of other developers that have projects in that area. Okay. Then Megaworld, if you have been passing along C5 for the past months, you've probably seen Arcovia City along C5 in Pasig. They've already started building an office tower, which is one paseo. Okay, and they're also building their first residential development in Arcovia City called 18 Avenue de Triomphe. Okay, it will be a mix of studio to 3-bedroom units, and the expected turnover for this residential development is in 2023. So common to the township formula of Megaworld. So Arcovia will have a mix of residential, office, and commercial, a retail property. So they will be also building a lifestyle mall in Arcovia City. Okay, so that's an exciting development along C5, which will make traffic much more heavier in C5. And then Megaworld is also developing a fourth residential tower in the Uptown district called Uptown Arts Residences. This is in North BGC. So Megaworld is the last big developer in BGC. They're the only ones with the significant chunk of land in BGC. So future developments in BGC will only be from Megaworld. Okay, so Uptown will be composed of also studio units up to 3-bedroom units. Some 3-bedroom units will be loft type units, and the expected turnover is in 2024. I guess one of the selling points of Uptown Arts Residences is it will be near the proposed SkyTrain Uptown Station, the monorail project connecting North BGC with the MRT Guadalupe line, and then it will also be near the proposed Mega Manila subway project. So that's something to look forward to for this development. And then Megaworld is also building a fourth Belmont Hotel in Iloilo. So I guess this is proof that the development of tourism in Iloilo is on the rise. When these big developers invest in these areas, continuously invest in these areas, that is a good sign. If you have properties in Iloilo, if you have condos, houses that you haven't yet tapped into Airbnb, then maybe that's something that you would like to look into to service the growing need for business travelers, business tourists, and etc. Okay. And staying with the Iloilo City, right? Just adding another news. Iloilo re-enters the Tholons top 100 BPO Supercities. So Tholons International is a global advisory group that ranks different cities on their BPO capability. So Iloilo is back in the top 100. They're now at the number 92 spot. Okay, after being left out last year. So in 2017, they were not included in the top 100 list, but they now Iloilo is back. The other cities from the Philippines that are in this list are Manila, which is back to number 2. Manila was last year. Manila dropped to number 4, and when we say Manila, it's Metro Manila. Okay, so Metro Manila is back to number 2, just right behind um, uh, one of the cities in uh, India. Sorry, I think it's Hyderabad or Bangalore. There. Bangalore is number 1. Metro Manila is number 2. Cebu is at number 11, and Davao is number 75. Santa Rosa Laguna is number 87, and Bacolod is 89. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities from the Philippines in the top 100 BPO super cities. And if you are, if you are looking to invest in a second wave city or in a super city, you may want to consider these cities. Again, Metro Manila, Cebu, Davao, Santa Rosa, Bacolod, and Iloilo. Okay? And well, last but not the least, how to make better investment decisions. Fitz Villafuerte, one of the top financial bloggers and gurus in the Philippine personal finance space, came up with this blog post: how to make better investment decisions and how to find the best investment for you. He doesn't actually point out what is the best investment, because that is a very difficult question to answer. There are thousands of investment options out there, and it's very difficult to say which one is the best for a specific person, because we all have different investment needs. A young millennial who's just starting out will have different investment needs to someone who's already, retiring. He or she may be entering their senior years and they want to retire, so their investment objectives are different from the young millennial. So it really is ultimately up to you what is the best investment. But he also talks about two psychological archetypes, those two investing archetypes. One is the maximizer, and then the other is the satisficer. Okay, so what are these two? The maximizer is the person that tries to look for the maximum, or the best investment always. He's trying to maximize ROI, or is always trying to get the best. Uh, as an example, Fitz pointed out the smartphone, buying a smartphone. So if you had the three options, to buy a low cost, mid cost, and premium smartphone, the maximizer would always gravitate to the um, premium smartphone, because this is the one that has the best features. It's always at the edge of innovation. They're always top of the line. So that's the maximizer. On the other hand, there is the satisficer. Satisficer is actually a coined term, a combination of satisfy and suffice. So the satisficer is someone who is satisfied with an investment that meets his investment needs. So whatever those investment needs are, once the investor finds it, he or she would normally no longer look for a better investment, because it's already there. Okay, so an investment already meets their needs. So going back to that smartphone example, the satisficer would probably go with the low cost if that is already enough, or the medium cost if that is enough. Or that also doesn't rule out buying the high-end smartphone if that is what he or she needs. So Fitz suggests that we all be on the second archetype, because it's actually less stressful, right? As long as an investment meets your needs, you don't need to look for other investment options. All right, so that is the deal maker roundup for this week. So I'm going to do this every week. Please let me know if this is something that's useful, something that helps you make better investment decisions, or something that just helps you grow as a deal maker. So I encourage you to always make deals so that we'll all grow rich. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the Dealmaker channel to get more real estate tips. And please consider also my book, No Money Down Formula in Real Estate. You can check it out at www.nomoneydownformula.com. So again, this is Ronald Cagape, your real estate coach. May your deals push through.